On a hill above Rio de Janeiro, two men were found lying side by side in the grass. They wore matching formal suits, raincoats over the top, and over their eyes, each man had a homemade mask cut from sheet lead. There was no blood, no wound, no sign of a struggle. Their money was still in their pockets. And folded nearby was a notebook with a line that has never stopped being quoted. Be at the agreed place at 4:30. Swallow the capsules at 6:30, and after the effect, protect the metals and wait for the signal. Two skilled electronics technicians climbed that hill on purpose, lay down, put lead over their eyes, and died waiting for something. 60 years later, nobody can say for certain what. If you would rather have a real, documented case than a campfire story, stay with me. Because every strange detail here is on the record. Pulling apart exactly this kind of mystery is the whole point of this channel. So hit subscribe and these keep finding you. The two men were Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana, repairmen who fixed radios and televisions in the town of Campos dos Goitacazes, a couple of 100 miles up the coast. In the middle of August 1966, they told their families they were traveling to buy equipment, possibly a car. That was the ordinary story. What they actually did was take a bus to Niterói, just across the bay from Rio. Witnesses traced their last hours with unusual precision. A shop sold them the matching raincoats. A bartender served them and remembered one of them checking his watch, anxious, as if he had an appointment to keep. They bought a bottle of water, the same bottle later found near their bodies. And they walked up a wooded hill called Morro do Vintame. Then they vanished from the record of the living. On the 20th of August, a young man flying a kite on the hill spotted them in the weeds and ran for the police. The terrain was rough enough that officers could not even reach the bodies until the following day. When they finally did, they found the scene exactly as it would later become famous. Two men, neatly dressed, lying side by side, each with a crude lead mask over the eyes. The kind of thing you might wear to shield your eyes from intense light. No injuries, no struggle, cash untouched. And the notebook with its instructions about capsules and a signal. I will be honest, the thing that makes this case stick is not horror, because there is none. It is how calm it is. These men did not look like victims. They looked like they were waiting for something to arrive. Then the investigation did something that turned a strange death into a permanent mystery. The bodies were not properly tested, despite a note that openly referred to swallowing capsules. No real toxicology was carried out at the time. The reported reason is almost absurd given what was at stake. The coroner was simply overwhelmed with other work. The police saw no obvious sign of foul play, and nobody pushed. By the time anyone took the case seriously, the bodies had decomposed too far for an accurate test. The single piece of evidence that could have answered the whole question, what was actually in those capsules, was lost to bureaucratic indifference. So with the one hard answer gone, the theories rushed into the gap. And to understand them, you need one more fact about these men. According to family and friends, the two were involved in what was described as scientific spiritism, a small circle of local technicians who believed that focus, ritual, and electrical energy could make contact with spirits or even with beings from elsewhere. They had reportedly built a device in a backyard that at one point exploded. There was a book among their things with passages marked about the intense luminosity of the entities they hoped to reach. And suddenly, the lead masks make a grim kind of internal sense. If you believed you were about to witness a blinding light, You might cut metal to shield your eyes from it.
If real cases that sit right on the line between the explainable and the impossible are your thing,
that line is exactly where this channel lives, and a quick subscribe keeps the next one coming. From there, the explanations split. The most grounded reading is the simplest and the saddest. The two went up the hill for a ritual, took the capsules themselves, expecting some kind of transcendent effect, put on their masks, lay down to wait, and died, most likely from whatever they had swallowed. An experiment that killed them by accident. The note fits it. The calm scene fits it. The masks fit it. But the missing toxicology means no one can ever close it. And the case attracted stranger company. Because local newspapers reported that a round orange light was seen hovering over the hill the night the men died. And the area already had a reputation for such sightings. Years later, witnesses even spoke of a possible third man who had been with the pair earlier and was never identified. The investigation had been so thin that the case never had a solid floor to stand on. And into that emptiness poured everything from accidental overdose to alien contact.
So here is what I will leave you with.
Were these two simply men who believed too much and died in a homemade experiment gone wrong? Or did they climb that hill knowing something the rest of us do not and lie down to wait for it? Tell me where you come down. Next, I want to take you somewhere colder and stranger. To a string of British scientists who built secret weapons and then, one after another, started dying in ways their own families refused to believe.